Hello everybody, welcome to Saipan. Hi, this is Rosalinda. She's a local here. Raddest swimming spots on earth, the Saipan Grotto. We have to time it right so the waves don't take you out. 71,034 U.S. troops landed. A huge pineapple, and we're gonna take it to get out to all the tanks out here, right across the way. We're almost 6,000 miles away from Los Angeles and over 3,700 miles away from Honolulu, but technically we're still in the United States. Welcome to one of my favorite places on earth, Saipan. I'm so excited that Bami and I are back here to experience these beautiful islands with their incredible history and also the Chamorro culture. We'll be in these islands for the next couple weeks, so I decided to start off the video by taking you to one of my favorite spots. One of the coolest things in Saipan is right here, the grotto. Let's go check it out. Here we go.
Hello.
Hello. Steep steps, but they're new. They redid them all, I guess, pretty recently. So they're safe, you know. Very good condition or whatever. Now, to even get in the grotto, you need to go in town first and buy a pass for $5. But the better thing to do is to get a tour guide. The tour guide will have all the equipment you need and show you how to get in the grotto safely, show you all the tricks when you're inside the grotto, and just help you overall. After we swim, I'll introduce you to my friend Ralph, who will hook you up, make sure you have a safe trip when you come here. Now, we got in for free with no pass, but that's an exception because we've been here so many times before, and it was kind of a one-time thing because they just changed the rules. The trick is you gotta cross, you gotta be careful. Coming along this way to the rope and then across, we have to time it right so the waves don't take you out. And that's kind of why the guides are here to help you do it if you don't know. I got across and Bami's still waiting. And I got a little bit wet. My shorts just the bottom few inches. So I misjudged it a little bit, but I kind of forgot, but I remember now, so we'll get Bami across and go swimming. No problem. Yeah. Welcome to one of the raddest swimming spots on earth, the Saipan Grotto. We're diving. We're diving. I know, I was looking at it. As you can tell, the water here is so clear and blue. This rock we're standing on is probably I don't know, 5 feet tall or something. You could jump in. There's divers in there practicing, and the other side of the cave, there is the holes where the water comes in from the ocean. Current's pulling me. Grotto is so fun to swim in, and the water is just so refreshing. Let's hike out of here, and I'll introduce you guys to Ralph. Okay, we made it back to the top. I just noticed how beautiful this place is with the flowers, and check out these birds. So here's the parking lot. Other side, there's the lookout point of the ocean. You can see the grotto from above. And here's where all the guys stage for all the tours that are given. And we're here in Saipan at the grotto with Ralph. And Ralph has a company. And what does your company do, Ralph?
My company is providing a high quality service. Name company is Ralph Adventure Saipan. We do here in Grotto and Maniga Island.
Cool. So if you guys want to check out the best spots in Saipan, come to the grotto, talk to Ralph. He'll hook you up.
All right, guys. Have a nice day.
Half a day.
Half a day.
The last time Bombi and I came here, there had been a super typhoon beforehand, and all these trees on the side of the highway were literally uprooted. And I just found that crazy because it looks like they all have grown back. The roots just took root again, and the trees are thriving. But not far from here, we're going to go look at some of the history with the Battle of Saipan, which happened during World War II, June 15th through July 9th, 1944, where the U.S. launched an amphibious assault. But I guess before that, the naval destroyers were bombarding the Japanese strongholds. So there's still huge holes in the side of the limestone cliffs that you can still see today. And then we won that war, and it made it to where our B-29s could launch from the Marianas here in Tinian and bomb the Japanese mainland. So we're going to dive into a bit of that history along this trip for sure. So I was on the side of the road trying to get some pictures of the cliffs where the U.S. bombarded the cliffs from heavy artillery from the battleships. We met this lady, and she gave us a bunch of fruit and invited us to her farm where she said that you can see the cliffs a lot better from her farm. So here we are, and you sure can. So I'm gonna try to get some footage. And she also said there's some Japanese caves that you can go in and hike up from her land. It's way back over here, and then hike up and find them too. So or climb inside of them, and the Japanese dug caves inside the cliffs as well. It goes from the bottom to the top, which definitely off the beaten path. And she's given us coconuts and everything. So coconuts.
Yeah, my forever.
Yeah, she's hooking us up with all sorts of fruit and showing us the cool spots and more of the history as well.
Okay.
Hi, this is Rosalinda.
Azuzu. Jones Azuzu.
And she's a local here in Saipan, and she is showing us her farm. And she's had this farm since 1988. And she gave us a bunch of fruit and stuff to eat. So
We planted.
so she planted. She's showing us her property, which is right by the big cliffs over here, and hopefully we can
And she wants breadfruit.
check those out later. Well, thank you, Rosalinda.
Thank you so much. Oh, nice. Wow.
Rosalinda is definitely a great example of how friendly the people here are in the Marianas. I'll have to grab some flashlights next time and maybe go explore those caves. 71,034 U.S. troops landed in Saipan and killed 29,500 Japanese. Saipan sits 1,200 miles south of Japan, and unlike many of the other islands which are atolls, the terrain is real difficult with lots of jungle and mountains. There was 30,000 Japanese troops here with interlocking machine gun nests and bunkers to defend the island. It's been over 80 years since the battle, but you could still see, especially in the limestone cliffs, all the holes from the U.S. destroyers bombarding the island. The big guns on the U.S. destroyers fired over 70,000 rounds. The most powerful tank force was used here by the Japanese in the whole Pacific theater. Just to demonstrate how big of a deal this war was, this battle, the United States dropped over 2.5 million pounds of bombs to the Air Force, used over 15 million rifle and machine gun rounds, and used over 125,000 hand grenades. This battle was especially historic. The first wave of Marines knew that when they landed on the beach, that they were the first U.S. soldiers to step on Japanese soil since the start of the war. Between Saipan, Tinian, and Guam, these islands are really an on-land and an underwater museum. You could free dive or take dives to actual sunken airplanes that were shot down and ships as well. And when hiking, especially in the jungles off the beaten path, you got to be careful of unexploded ordnance. You know, these bombs and undetonated different munitions can still explode, maiming or killing you. So I guess this is the Japanese command center. let's go inside and check it out, if I could fit. I wonder if the blown out walls and all the destruction was from the war, or if it was just falling apart for being so old. I wonder what it looked like back in the 1940s. I'm not sure, but all this black stuff looks like some type of carbon or something with fire from the war. So many lives were lost here, comparable to Normandy, that is considered D-Day number 2. 3,100 Americans, 29,500 Japanese, and hundreds of locals' lives were lost here at the Battle of Saipan. Okay, back at the hotel, have something very special planned, a little history, and a little fun. Bummy.
Yeah.
So here's our huge pineapple, and we're gonna take it to get out to all the tanks out here, right across the way, and go explore the World War II tanks on the giant pineapple. You know, another cool thing about Saipan is you can pull your car oftentimes right up to the beach. There's no parking meters like they're everywhere in Hawaii or something. And plus, the beaches are never crowded. This is paradise. From World War II, there's Sherman tanks still stuck on the reef. We're gonna go check them out. Okay, here we go. Time to swim back. This is tank number 2. I tried to go at it alone because Mommy said it was too far, and she was right. I got about 3/4 of the way. It was still too far, so I turned around, swam back, and barely made it. I was thinking about all the sharks that could be in the water, so it was tripping me out. These Japanese Type 97 and Type 95 tanks were no match for the Marines' anti-tank rounds. Powered by Mitsubishi. One thing that I noticed just driving around, the Marianas have a really cool car culture. I want to go in here and check something out.
Hi, my name is Rhomb. Welcome to Grotto Motors Saipan of today, and take a look at what we have. A 2023 Honda Civic Type R.
It's pretty rare that a dealer even has a Type R, but check this out. The blue one, now a red one. They have 2 of them. You know, I don't know how many of you guys are into cars, but as far as cars go, that's pretty impressive. And as if that wasn't enough, there's a black one right in the back of the dealer. Unreal. I think for a dealer having 3 of these cars is pretty much unheard of. I've traveled all the USA. I've never seen more Type Rs in one spot than here today, that's for sure. Speaking of cars, there's all these abandoned custom convertible Mustangs and Camaros just sitting here abandoned. I think because tourism pretty much came to a halt during COVID and there was nobody to rent them. There's so many of them and it looks like none of them are even getting fixed. They're just wasting away. I really hope all these cool cars don't end up at the junkyard. I mean, nature's taking them over, and look at the paint on them and everything. Some of them, the windows are even rolled down and it rains. A lot of these colors too are custom colors. The first time I came here, I would see tourists on the side of the road taking pictures with their rental cars. They loved them. Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of asking around. There wasn't anybody near this building. The building looks abandoned too, I'm not sure. But you think they would at least try to fix them up and at least get them in the hands of locals for transportation instead of just rotting away here. Pretty crazy. Yeah, I know for years during COVID, it really impacted the island. So I'm kind of got the gist that's what this is from. And I don't think tourism has really returned like people were hoping it would here. But this place is so incredible. You guys definitely should plan one of your vacations in the future here. Among all the traveling and national parks and your different videos I tend to do on this channel, I really like cars a lot. So whenever I see something interesting or cool, I try to include it, within the video. And I think there's a really good car culture here in Saipan and the Marianas. This abandoned car part is just real different. So I thought I would at least document it. Kind of getting the I Am Legend vibe looking at all these cars. I mean, you could talk to a lot of people, and for some people, these cars I'm showing off are, if they were in nice condition, would be their dream car. No doubt. Speaking of dream cars, and speaking of Type Rs, this one ain't abandoned. This is a DC5 Integra Type R. Notice the license plate, JDM ITR. And just if you couldn't get any cooler, an old school Toyota MR2. Okay, had to stop again. FK8 Civic Type R, just kicking it here. How awesome is that? I've never seen more Type Rs in one place than Saipan, hands down.
And this is Himawari Hotel, Restaurant, Bakery, and Supermarket.
The first time Bami and I ever came here, this is where we stayed. It's a hotel above and like a supermarket and a place to buy food below. Saipan's expensive, especially food. This is where you come to get hooked up. I'm so glad I found this store. Pretty much whatever you need from, for your traveling, office supplies, or a pen or a paper clip, or anything you can imagine like that. And then stuff a convenience store or a supermarket would have, stuff for your bathroom. And check this out. They're making all sorts, here's some poke, a bunch of sushi, of high quality foods that are reasonably priced, prepared right in back. The workers get here early in the morning and there's all sorts of kitchens that prepare some of the best poke and sushi, grab and go stuff, but it's freshly prepared, and again, the price is fantastic. And a big selection of so many things. Here's some pretty much like plate lunch type things that you can grab fresh if it's hot, I guess, or you would just take it back to your room and microwave it. But you can eat lunch or dinner for $5, and it's high quality, freshly made food. So what you do, me and Bami grab a bunch of it, take it back to the hotel room. Spam and rice, musubi, a lot of stuff that you would see maybe at a 7-Eleven that you would buy in Hawaii, and then just different, you name it, edamame, ginger for your sushi, eggs, freshly made sandwiches, and then there's also burgers and subs. This place pretty much has everything. They even have their own bakery where they're baking fresh bread every single morning. So awesome. So the plan is get here kind of early, not too late, then eat lunch and take some back to your room for dinner. You could also eat here. I grabbed, Bami and I, some tuna, salmon, sushi alongside with some poke. And then we got a meal. Bami wanted some salmon and rice. So yeah, pro tip, come eat some of the best food on the cheap. There's one of the custom Mustangs on the road. Good to see one. Okay, we're gonna dive into some more history of one of the craziest parts of the Battle of Saipan, the Banzai and Suicide Cliffs. Here we are at the plateau at the top of Saipan and what's known as the Suicide Cliff. The Japanese, in fear Americans were going to torture and rape them, by word of their emperor, many of the women grabbed their children and jumped off the cliffs with them, or threw their babies in and jumped after them. Very sad thing, and the Americans were on loudspeakers with speaking Japanese translators and telling them not to do it. They'll give them food, they'll help them, and many of them still jumped. So the Japanese people were told by their leaders to commit suicide because if they were ever caught by the Americans, they would all be tortured and raped. And to commit suicide would be less brutal than what they would be facing otherwise. Just want to take a peek. The exact number's not known, but eyewitness accounts said they would look down and see hundreds of bodies. And other accounts also said there was thousands of people who committed suicide here by the ocean cliffs as well, the Banzai cliffs. So crazy. Sad, huh? Now we're here at the second location, the Banzai Cliffs, where they jumped into the rocky ocean. The eyewitness accounts said that the waves were just filled more than one people deep of bodies, many of them women and children. very tragic what happened here. You can learn a lot about the history here at the American Memorial Park. It's a sister park to the one in Guam. Here, inscripted on this memorial, are all the names of the Americans who died here at the Battle of Saipan. There's 5,204 names listed here. I think the additional numbers are from those who later died from their wounds, and also U.S. missing in action soldiers. This memorial is dedicated to the native Chamorro and other indigenous people that were caught in this war, not of their own making, that perished. You could see their names with their ages next to them, many of them very young children. There's 929 names listed here. Check this out, just drive down the street, just a few seconds literally, and we're still in the Memorial Park. One of the coolest things, it has one of the best beaches on Saipan. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed the video here in Saipan. There's so much to see and do, so hopefully got a good taste of just some of the things available here on this beautiful island. But I'm really excited because tomorrow I'm going to do something I've been wanting to do for years now. Fly to the island of Tinian, just to the south. There's some major points of historical significance. The island is pretty remote, and there's one of the best beaches I've seen on video, not in life yet, in the world, and I can't wait to check it out. I'm taking a very small airplane over, and Mommy's scared to fly, and I didn't tell her. So let's see how that works out. If you don't want to wait for that video, check out these videos, and I'll see everybody on the next one.